It is a privilege and it's very exciting to be introducing our guest speaker. Her name is Liesel Theron. She's a labor-wise consultant, and then she'll be giving us, she'll be doing a consultation, a workshop on the POPI Act, so that as a church, we can just be compliant with the rules of the government. Liesel, a warm welcome to you. Yes, you can go ahead with your presentation.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me tonight. I really appreciate that. They gave me 15 minutes, so it's not going to be a long presentation. I'm sure you do have a lot of other things to get to. But important to understand is that your church is in the process of becoming compliant with POPI. And I had a request from you to answer a few questions. So I'm sure everyone understands what POPI stands for. It's the protection of personal information of a person or an entity or a data subject, as we call it in the POPI terms. So for me tonight is the first question. So I'm going to just, Bartu, maybe you can just go over the questions that you had for me. So important to understand is whoever is in the church that's in the administration side of the church, they are already busy becoming compliant. They're putting all the agreements, statements online, consent forms. They're putting everything in place, and they're dealing with any information about all the members according to the POPI Act. So everyone can be assured that your information been kept according to the POPI Act, and that they will not share it for any purpose besides for the purpose of the church and for what the church stands for. And if they share that information, they will share it only with your consent. There's a lot of forms going around that they're going to let you sign to whenever there's transfer of information or whenever they process your information. So I don't know how far the church got with that, but yes, that is definitely the steps that they're taking to make sure that the church are POPI compliant. So the first question, Bartu, can you maybe just go? I don't have the question here in front of me. Sorry. What was the question about?
The first question was in terms of the WhatsApp groups. Yes, how do we handle that as a church?
Deal with that? Okay, that is actually very easy to answer. So if you have a phone, any type of phone, you've got WhatsApp on your phone, and you as a person receive the request to join a WhatsApp group, you have the opportunity to say, yes, I want to be part of this group, or no, I don't want to be part of this group. Okay, so it all depends on you. As long as you have the opportunity to say, yes, I want to join it, or at a certain time where you feel you don't want to be part of this group, you need to tell them, sorry, I don't want to be part of this group. Please delete my number or don't put me on a group. POPI is all about for you as a person to give the opportunity to say, yes, you may use my information, or I want to join a group, or I don't want to join a group. But in the moment you say yes, you want or accept that invitation, that means you say yes, that you want to join the group. So there's nothing wrong with any WhatsApp groups at all. As long as if there's information shared on that group, and some of that information you feel might be personal, please don't share that with anyone else besides the people in that group. Always treat any personal information, and personal information can be name, surname, cell phone number, anything that links to you, your beliefs, your religion, anything that will link anything to you as a person. So if you make a statement on this group that you feel comfortable of sharing that information, you want to know that anyone on that group will keep that information confidential. Confidentiality is very important, and trust, and people, especially in a church. I mean, if I share my information with my church, I want to know that they're going to keep that information, and with my fellow members, keep that information confidential. And with the same respect, I'm going to treat their information that I want them to treat my information. Okay.
Thank you, Liesl.
Any
I'm not
questions,
sure.
please, you can ask me questions. Anyone can ask me questions, please.
Yes.
Feel free to ask me.
Yes, Church. I just wanted to find out if anyone has a follow-up question with regards to the WhatsApp group for Liesl. Or we can move on to the second one.
Okay.
I have a question. So whenever we send messages in the church group, in the church WhatsApp groups, we don't always have to attach the part about, the POPI Act and whatnot.
No,
Okay.
not at all. No, not at all. No.
So in the WhatsApp groups, that's okay.
Yes, because you're not joining on behalf of someone else. You're joining on behalf of yourself, and you have the opportunity. You can take the opportunity to say, I don't want to be part of that group, and that's important for you to have that control over what you join and what you don't join.
Okay.
Okay.
I see there's another hand.
Sure.
Reggie. Yeah, Reggie, please go ahead.
Yeah, what I wanted to ask is the person who is sending that invitation to whoever wants to join, what do you need? Do you have to write something that accompany your invitation, telling those who intend or who are interested to join, to say, here is the link. If you want to join, know that your personal information, being the cell phones, might be used for 1, 2, 3, or they will not be used for anything. Do you have to send something with that invitation?
When you start that group, yes, I've already sent that. It's like a wording for POPI. I've already sent that to, who did I send it to? I can't remember.
To Eric and Belinda.
Eric and Belinda, yeah, they've got that wording that I've already sent to them. Just ask them to share it with you. So if you start a group, maybe start that with that wording so everyone understands that. And then they know that they can leave the group whenever they want. Okay.
All right, so Mabatu, can you please get us that wording from Eric and Belinda, because I think it's going to be important for all the church groups to be able to, at least new groups that we start, we need to be able to send that out and have the wording. The groups that we currently have, is it important that we at some point send that out, or we can
maybe just yes. If you are maybe the creator of a group, and it might be a good idea just to send it out only once off. You don't need to send it every time. Just send it once off and say, listen, guys, you do have the opportunity to leave if you want to, and feel free to do that. So always give them that opportunity.
Okay, I see
there's another hand.
OCD, please go ahead.
She's muted. She just needs to unmute herself.
My apologies.
No problem.
Okay, sorry. I just wanted to find out if it's a broadcast list. Is it different from a group? Because you can do a broadcast list where the person responds. When they respond, the response just comes to you, not to everybody else. Is it the same? Because the broadcast list operates differently from a WhatsApp group.
I don't understand the broadcast list. Where is that by means of?
We've got an option to form a broadcast list. You put people in it. It could be 5 or 2 or 3 or more people or 10 people. When they respond, the response comes to the person who created the broadcast list. It doesn't go to everybody. So not everybody. It's not like everybody knows what everybody's saying.
Okay, as long as those people who are on that list, doesn't matter who can respond to it, who can read it, they're still corresponding with someone, and they need to have the opportunity to say they don't want to be part of this broadcast list or WhatsApp list or whatever. The main thing about POPI, to give the person whose information you receive that opportunity to say yes or no. Okay.
All right. Okay. Thank you.
Pleasure.
Okay. Angie, please go ahead.
Hi, Liesel. Thank you so
Hello.
much for helping us out with the POPI Act. I was wondering, because
Pleasure.
us as a church, sometimes we ask for prayers for so-and-so, or we're like, this person's sick and, you know, can we please pray for them? Or we have someone studying the Bible and we're excited about it. And we're saying, hey, please pray for this person because, you know, they're studying the Bible. Are we still
You can
allowed?
go. Yes, you're still allowed to carry on with that. Yes, definitely. One thing that you need to remember, don't take it too like make it too complicated, especially in the church. Carry on with what you're doing and prayer groups, whatever, because that is the reason why people join a church, is for that. So if that is the purpose of the church, is to help people, and if it's for their benefit, carry on with that, because you're not going to process that or share it with anyone else. That is for the purpose of praying for them or helping them. Yes, you may.
Thank you for that.
Pleasure.
Okay. Okay, I
Any
don't
other
see
questions
any.
regarding groups and WhatsApps and communication?
Yes,
Simba,
Liesel,
you were trying to
yes,
say something?
Liesel. Yes. Sorry, Mabato, I didn't pick up my hand, but can I go ahead?
Okay, okay, Debza.
Thanks, Liesel, for this session. I wanted to check with you, Liesel. Will then, because of normally I request information from Mabato to give me names of the people who I need to put up in a group for young Christians. So I'm supposing that Mabato will then do the request to all these people instead of me doing it individually, because maybe a central person will be better to seek that permission. So is that right?
The administration of the church already is in the process, and I don't know if I've done that already. When there's application forms to join the church, there will be a section where they say they can use their information for the purpose of communicating for, it's not that they're going to send that information to anyone else in a third party, but they're going to send it for the purpose of communicating within the church. So yes, that's already been taken care of. So then she will get that permission. She already got that permission the moment they signed the application form to join the church, and then she is allowed to give you that information.
Thank you.
Mabatu, there was a hand, it was either Tate Soko or Memas Soko who had their hand up, and then I think, but then I see there are many other hands that have gone up.
I think when
Mabato, it was me.
Yes,
I think Angie asked the same question that I was going to ask, that if we have someone who's sick and we ask for prayers, is this something that we need to ask permission for first from her, or should we just go ahead as leaders? So I think it was answered.
Okay, yeah, as long as you always remember to be very careful about someone's information, not only their information, but to deal with them in a way you want to stand as a church. You want people to trust you in sharing their personal things with you. And always keep in mind that this is what the church stands for trust, and not just sharing things without, it's more like you want them to feel safe in the church, and that's important.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mamudise, you can go ahead.
Good evening, everyone. Liesel, I just need clarity. It's a follow-up on Ostidi's question regarding the broadcast list. Because with a broadcast list, it's like sending one message to different people, but because you don't want to send one by one, you just make a list for yourself so that the message goes once. But those people, they are not aware that you have a list. Come again. They are not aware that you have a list of their name in sort of a group. It's just only you, because when the message goes out, it's like I have a group of Lizelle on a list. It's a list, broadcast list. I have Lizelle, I have Temba, and I have Sisoko. When the message goes out, it's like it's going individually to those people. And when they respond straight to me. And then the other people who are on the list do not see the responses of other people, because they are not even aware that I've sent the message to different people.
Okay, so if I understand you correctly, how did they get onto that list for the broadcasting list? Somewhere people need to, or someone had to make them aware of that their name is on that broadcast list.
Okay, the list is like when you're sending, I don't want to put it like an email, because an email, when people will realize that we are on the same email, but it's like, I don't want to be sending one message to different people one by one. I'm making it easier for me to send one message to different people. But it's not a group whereby everyone knows that we are in the group. It's like I'm just sending them individually.
Okay, so it's not a group where everyone has got access to everyone else. Then it's fine, and that's very easy. So if it's only you, it seems like it's a list or info that you send to a lot of people, but those one person only have access to one-on-one information. Is that correct?
Yes,
then you don't have to worry at all. The problem, not the problem, the question might come in is, they might ask, but where did you get my information to put me on the broadcast list? Your answer to them will then be, the moment you signed up to join the church, that's where you gave consent for us or for you guys to use the information to share information about the church.
Those people, they are not aware that there's a list. You have created a list for yourself.
Okay, then maybe when you from now on send out information, first send that POPI a statement out, so that they understand that they can ask to be deleted from the list. Give them that opportunity. And after you've done that and everyone is fine to be on the list, then you can carry on with it. Okay. Does that answer your question?
No, but it's okay.
I think the issue that we might be confusing here is that we are talking about matters that relate to the church. So you can't now ask personal questions and now put them together with matters that relate to the church. I think what people are doing on their individual capacity, they should carry on doing what they're doing. But I think for us as a church, if we are to send a message on behalf of the church, even if we are doing a broadcast list to everybody, and it's going to be something that is regular, it's not like a once-off message that we are sending. Perhaps it might be prudent on our part as a church to make sure that those people that we are adding, because a personal broadcast list you will be sending to your personal friends. They are not going to ask you, where do you get my number from, or all those types of, because those are your friends and you've got, you are in touch with them. But I think things that have to do with the church, they will affect people where they are receiving messages from Maba to perhaps, and they were not sure if they should be receiving the message or not. So maybe, again, the advice is just for us as a church, where we are sending out official messages, that we are prudent to make sure that people know that they have the option of being removed, even from a broadcast list, if it pertains to things that are happening regularly and frequently.
Yeah. Also, just remember that the church can't be held responsible if you in the church there's small little WhatsApp groups that they created on their own. They can't be responsible for that. That's privately, and even if it's related to the church, they can't manage that. Okay.
All right. Perfect. I think that is helpful.
Yeah, especially because the broadcast list is really just like an email. If I'm organizing Liesel's birthday party and I don't want the admin of putting people in a group, but I just want to let people know it's Liesel's birthday, it's on such and such a date, we're gonna meet at this particular place. I'm avoiding sending individual messages, but I'm just saying, we don't need a group for that, but it's usually a once-off event that I'm communicating about. It's very specific, so it's not really something that you go back to often anyway.
And if it's for the benefit of that person, yes. And as long as you don't send out personal information, that's an invitation, that's something different.
Yes.
As long as you don't send personal information from someone else to a group, you need to be more clear on how you send messages and what you send. And I don't think you need to worry too much, because anyone in the church will really only send information that will benefit or in the benefit of that person in the church. Okay.
All right. Sean.
I saw Sean had his hand up. I'm not sure if his answer.
Oh,
his
yeah.
answer.
Okay. So can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. I think for me, it's just a question. I don't know if it's been dealt with already. So normally we would share personal information. We say doing discipling. If I'm going through a bad time or have a situation that my disciple or the person I speak to can't assist with, and we normally go ask for advice. So what I've now learned from the POPI Act, you almost need to ask that person if you can go ask for advice. You can't just go and say, listen, X has a problem. How do we assist him? Even if it's with good intentions. And the other thing, I also just clarity on the same thing that Tema just spoke about. So as far as I know, the Act states the criteria what means personal information. And it normally dictates that if you include people on one message, one needs to know about the other, because inevitably there'll be an email address, there'll be a phone number, there will be some type of communication. So not to fall foul of the Act, rather make people aware that you're asking someone else about the same thing. So yes. I don't know, I think for me it's just to be caution on whether it's now personal capacity or church capacity. The Act applies throughout. There's no distinction basically.
Everyone.
But just on my first question. Yeah.
Just repeat your first question again. You were breaking up there a bit.
Oh, sorry, I'm okay. Sometimes we go and we speak to someone about our personal problems, and normally the person who can assist, they will go then to someone else to ask for advice to assist, like Sean, basically.
Okay.
So is it important to tell the person, listen, I'm going to ask advice about the situation? And I think the second one, we also, with the studies we do with people, we'll normally then say, let's conclude the studies with another person. And during that discussion, there's also personal stuff that's being shared, especially with persons outside the church coming into the church. Is it important to tell that person, listen, the X is going to sit in as well, and you'll be here about your personal stories and ask permission?
Yes. It's very important to give them the opportunity to know that you're going to say, for instance, if you have a session with someone, a consultation with someone, and you, I don't know how the church does that. Is there any form that they need to fill in, or maybe just give consent to, because what personal information are you going to receive from them, or are you going to process that personal information? If you need help, you need to get their consent.
Okay. Yeah. So normally people will not sign a form. It will be normally random discussions about particular topics. And inevitably, when we discuss topics, people do share their own personal struggles,
Yeah.
difficulties, etc.
Yeah. As long as you just make them aware that you are going to ask for help or for advice, and they might say no, please, I don't want you to share my personal information with them. And then you need to respect that. But if they say yes, it's okay, you can carry on.
Okay,
The Act
thank
is
you.
also very clear when it comes to church and how the church deals with information. You are allowed to do whatever you want to help a person in a church. Okay, the Act, it's very specific on that. Especially the church and the schools and things, there's personal information shared, and you can do that. It's only by coming in with the administration side of it, where it's like a business running on the side of the church. So the church itself is, you go to church and and you preach and you help people and you assist people, but there's also the administrative side of the church that needs to process information and run a business on the line of the church and pay people and send information about those who work for the church or other members. So, but for the business or the purpose of the church, you may carry on as usual.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Other questions?
You've dealt with the second question. And Raj, I'm looking at the time.
Oh, shame, guys. Yeah, it's almost a whole half an hour. So the second question, what was that again?
It had to do with the leaders. How far can they go when seeking advice? So that one has been covered.
Okay.
Yeah,
right.
and then the last one was now, how do we handle disfellowship?
Yeah, as I said before, if that is what the church stands for, you can carry on as normal. Okay, you don't have to worry about that. As long as that person who you're dealing with knows and understands the consequences and what you're going to do in the church.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Okay, thank you so much.
Pleasure.
Yeah, hey, this has been fruitful. And I think to the church, like maybe if there's more questions, like previously requested, please keep on sending your questions so that we can.
And even if there's another time where you feel you want to give me another 10 minutes if there's more questions, you're more than welcome.
Yes. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you, Lisa.
Okay. Thank you, Lisa.
And have
Thank
a
you very
blessed
much.
evening, and
Thank
thank you for
you.
the time. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.